Okay, so on tonight's homework, this is lesson 1.1. So this is the homework that students have from Monday at school and should be returned tomorrow. So the first thing that students want to do is label the place value chart. So the place value chart starts for our students right now in the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds, and then thousands. Students may not be able to fit their writing there, and they can easily just put the numeric value. That's also fine. Either way is acceptable. So after students label that, they're going to fill in the blanks to make each equation true. Today we talked about making place value discs in the chart to show how you got your answer, and then using arrows to show any regrouping. So what I would always tell students to do is start by drawing whatever they see 10 times up. So in this case, they see 4 ones. So students should draw 4 discs in the ones place. The next thing they have to do is do 10 times that. So what we talked about today is what is 10 times 1? Well, 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. So 10 times 4 ones would be 40. Students can use a dot, which is a little bit faster, so I'm going to do that for the remaining. So it would be they need 9 more in each one. The reason they don't want to do 10 more is because if we think about 1 times 10, it gives us a total of 10. So up here it said use arrows to show regrouping. Well, for every one group of 10, we can exchange that in for 110. So we would show that by regrouping. So we'd have 2, 3, and then 4. So what students found out is that 4 times 10 was 40 in the ones place. So that gave them 40 ones, which is the same as 4 tens or 40. In the next one, we want to start with 2 tens. So have students draw 2 in the tens place and then 10 times that. So to do 10 times the 2, they would have to draw 20. Here you can see that the same rule applies. If I have 10 tens, I can exchange them in for 100. Another 10 tens, I can exchange them in for another 100. Now that gives me a total of, if I counted all my dots here, I had 20 tens, which is the same as 200. So students are going to do that type of work for A, B, and C. And then down here, they're going to apply kind of what they learned at the top. So it says complete the following statements using your knowledge. So 10 times as many as 100, how many discs would they need in the hundreds place? Well, think of what 10 times 1 is. Or 10 of those 100s would give you how many thousands? And then it says 10 times as many blank hundreds is 60 hundreds. Well, 10 times what number gives you 60? And then those 60 hundreds could turn into how many thousands? For part C, it gets a little more challenging. It says blank as 800s is 8,000s. So we want to think of what we used up here. 10 times as many as 800 is 8,000. Students can skip part D on this front page. Part 2, this is where students are going to think about problems in the real world and how 10 times as much works. So if I read here, Katrina has 60 gigabytes of storage on her tablet. Her father has 10 times as much storage on his. How much does he have? So I'd start by showing how much Katrina has, and then thinking about her father as 10 times as much. So you would do Katrina's amount, 10, and we see already the mathematical operation, and this should tell her how much her father has. So that's how student students can solve for the father's storage. Again, the next problem we see, it's still Katrina. She's saving $200. Her father spends 10 times as much money. So again, we're going to start with how much Katrina starts with. Thinking about 10 times more. And then how much her father spends. So students should be able to go through these problems and solve for each part. And then here, thinking about these as a number model. So having students write maybe next to the problem. So we see 4 times as much as 3. So I think of that as 4 times as much as 3. And then students should be able to solve for that. Here we're saying 700 is 10 times as much as, and then this is our unknown. How much is it 10 times more than? Same here. 8,000 is how much more than 800? Once students finish problem 6, they are finished for the night.